New shirt, new day. Let's get into it. Off camera yesterday, I sized and deburred and chamfered the already primed cases. So now we're just going to go through, and first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a cheater's tool. I'm going to hook it up in the drill here and chamfer the case mouths just the slightest bit just to get the burr from trimming them off. And then we'll set up the press over here and we'll run through and size them all. And with the unprimed cases that I'm going to do, I'm just going to put them in my bag and spray them with my lanolin lube, because these things, they tend to get stuck in the press if you don't. These ones I didn't. The prime cases I didn't. I just took my time and hand lubed every single one with my wax sizing lube. So these ones took a little bit of time, but I just did them off camera because I wanted to get right into it today. Do all the non-primed cases and throw them in the ultrasonic cleaner and get that going. I am also shooting a second video right now currently as well, so I got a bunch of different things going on right now. So we're gonna get this going. I'm, like I said, gonna chamfer the inside of the case mouths, and then I'm gonna hit it with a brass brush to make sure I get all the shavings out of there because I don't want to scratch my dies up. All right, and time lapse in now. Real quick side note, I'm actually going to grab the deburring tool and deburr the outer edge of the case next too. Now I'm not taking a whole lot off with this chamfer I did. It's it's barely even chamfered. I was just trying to knock the burrs off of the case neck. Um, as far as scratching up my dies, brass on the hardness scale is way lower than tool steel, which is what these dies are always made, or for the most part always made out of. Um, so I'm not worried about it scratching the die so much as um, getting brass shavings up in the dies. And if you do that too much, you'll start scratching cases. You're more likely to get them stuck. There'll be more issues than if you just take the extra couple of minutes here. I mean, that took me realistically 2 or 3 minutes to do. So I'm just going to go back through with the hand tool, knock the burr off of the outer edge of the case mouth, and then we'll continue on with the brass brush, the neck, and then set the press back up and get that all going. Well, we're back. I got all these chamfered, deburred slightly. I'm still going to do a finishing pass after we get them all sized and clean and all that. Just before I see bullets, because I did a real light, real not aggressive chamfer on these case necks. Now these boat tail hollow points are boat tail, so they have like a slight. They're not flat all the way down. At the end, they curve in, they cut in, which is why they're called boat tails. Um, so they'll seat just fine the way they are. I just like doing a slightly more aggressive, tapered inside on the case mouth for ease of seating. It's less force required to seat bullets if you have a more um, aggressive and deeper taper on the inside of the case mouth. So now we're gonna run these through the sizing die that I have set up in the press. I'm gonna put the press up here on the bench, and we're gonna run these all through. And then after that, we're gonna run them through the ultrasonic cleaner just to get the extra lube off them. Now, with the other ones that I did, the wax lube, I used a very um, light amount of wax, so I'm not going to bother messing with it trying to get those, because you put unshot primers in a water bath and they're probably not going to be so good. So we're just going to run with the unprimed ones. The reason I'm doing it is because I'm just going to dump these all in a bag and then spray the lanolin case lube on them. So it's going to be more liberally applied. So that's where we're at so far. I'm going to get this put away, get the press out here, and then we'll be back. All right, that's that. We got all of our unprimed brass put in our tray to get dropped in the ultrasonic cleaner. Now I just need to fill that up. And these have already been cleaned before. I remember cleaning them before this whole workbench thing happened. So I remember they're already clean. I just gotta clean all the lube off them. So I'm probably only gonna put them in for 6 or 7 minutes, and then I'll throw them into the brass dryer, and we'll come back after they're dry and ready to go. Then we'll start priming and start our process. Now, I know earlier in the video I said we were going to do a set amount of powder for them, but we're actually going to do a ladder test. I have written down here, before I got busy doing other stuff, I had written down ladder test. We're doing between 25 and 26 grains of CFE 223 with the 68 grain boat tail hollow points. So I believe what I was doing was looking for a good node for the powder and bullet combination in the rifle, and then once I find a good load that's got low numbers, we'll start fine tuning from there. But it goes up in 0.2 grain increments. We start at 25, 0.24, 6, 8, and then finish at 26. So once we get these out of the dryer after they've done their cycle, we'll start loading that up. And I'm actually going to use a scale this time rather than using my dispenser. We're actually going to use a scale, just because I can be more accurate with it. CFE is a ball powder, so it runs through the dropper and it meters pretty well on the scale. So we'll get this going, and then we'll be back once it's ready to load. Well, I ended up loading these off camera. I did 65 rounds. We went 0.2 grain increments from 25 to 26, and then I got 5 loaded at the max charge in the book, which is 26.3, and I've got 10 primed cases left over. So I just was bored before work one night and decided I was going to load them real quick. Didn't decide to put the camera on or anything, but you guys have seen my loading video. I mean, it's me inserting time lapse and running the press a bunch of times. So nothing new to see. Same process. We did this one a little bit differently. We went out of the order for my order of operations, but I feel like that's going to get us the best results this time around at the range. And as far as when I'm going to get these shot at the range, I honestly don't know. I have a pretty busy next couple of weekends coming up, so I'm hoping to get out there by middle of the month coming up here. Right now we're at the end of February, so I'm hoping to get out there by March, 15th or something like that, like in the middle of the month there. And then we'll set the lab radar up, get chrono data for these, and once that's all done, that'll be its own video. This is gonna be a video, and then the range and the conclusion from the load development is gonna be the next video. So that's it. That's all I got for you. I'm currently in the process of shooting one other video and editing and uploading a different video series as well. So real quick update. Yeah, I just went and did them off camera. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy to report. So that's all I got for now. Till next time.